Hello there once again, people! And if you're noticing, I sound a bit different today. Yes, people, this is because I have changed around some of my different, technology. Basically, I changed around a lot of my different devices, basically making myself sound better, and hopefully this is an improvement. I think it is. It sounds good. I've done a lot of testing, messing around with different things, and so I've gotten to this point. So with that in mind, I'm just going to start rambling about what we're doing, which in this case is going to be checking out something called the Hell Scrag test map. Well, actually, it's part of a larger thing called the Hell Scrag, which is actually a new enemy made on October 13th of 1996 by Toby Reed. So this also gives credits to id Software, Quake Rules, Brian Mine for the MDL editor, blah blah blah, yeah, that one. And also, he used Cool Edit for sounds. Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, he gives single player because of the test map, and he basically gives you Quake C, sound, MDL file, and it's a new monster! So yeah, it's a totally new monster called the Hell Scrag. Essentially, he saw that the last few months didn't have any new monsters or really anything whatsoever. If you notice, we've had only the psionic slug and Willy the spider. Yeah, that's been basically all we've had for custom monsters. So, needless to say, it's been a rather rare thing when you can basically add new custom stuff pretty easily. So, needless to say, he decided, I want to add something. And so, yeah, he decided to show how easy it is to do. And so, yeah, he basically took the Scrag. He made some simple modifications, a few new sounds, changed around the models, and came up with the Hell Scrag. So, yeah. Needless to say, it's basically all clumped together in a PAK0 file, which actually means, interestingly enough, there's a progress.dat. The problem with that is, that means it's a closed source modification file. Which in turn means, much like the psionic slug, you can't exactly add it to your normal maps. Say you wanted to play some random Quake level, and you said, hey, I want to play the test map with Hell Scrag. You really can't. It kind of is totally pointless in that way, because it's a progress.dat and it's a limited closed source file. That essentially means that its user abilities are rather limited. It almost feels kind of pointless in that regard. Say I was to load it up on my co-op server, it would almost serve zero purpose because I'd have to play it in the vanilla game, and it would just be this specific mod. You'd have to like load it up kind of separate, kind of like I would do like Aftershock or something like that, but even more in this case because it's fully limited and you have no way to like combine it ever. Aftershock really is because of GLQuake's engine and how exactly textures are read. But yeah, this one in particular, you just cannot combine in any way because closed source modification. Hopefully there's like an open source modification for enemies somewhere that isn't like, you know, I would like to add some monsters. I'd like a way that was like to generate monsters in there. I'm thinking something like Oblige, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't think like Oblige works for new enemies. I don't know, honestly, really about Oblige too much. So hopefully one day I can try that out. Hopefully it will actually do what I want to do, which is extend and add like a bunch of extra enemies. I want to be able to add like all the different enemies from all the different stuff. The main problem with that is, well, it's probably going to be limited by progress.dat files. If you have open source stuff, you can merge it together, you can have fun with it, but if it's closed source, you can't really do much with it, which probably kills a lot of these commercial modifications. Like, I can imagine Scourge of Armagon and Disillusion, all those are going to be closed source. Who knows, they might have released source files, though, for them, which means I could, like, take the monsters and, like, throw them wherever. Let's hope, because otherwise you can't really do much with them, and it kind of will stink. So, yeah, that's kind of the one big problem about the whole Quake design thing, is that because you can release things as open or closed source, that means that a lot of the useful stuff that I could rip around and play with is closed source and you can't really do anything with. Because, yeah, once you get a progress.dat file, you're pretty much game over. You can't really do anything with it. The original Quake source you can't really do anything with. You actually need to get like a separate series of files and compile it out. So needless to say, there's like nothing you can really do unless you have like the right files, the Quake C files. Anyway, I've been rambling for that long enough. Let's actually get back to the Hell Scrag. It's just basically a simple run. He designed it using Quest, and yeah, it's basically just a basic Hell Scrag test map. He made the room with Quest, the rest with DOS edit. It's a very basic room. It's just going to have us with the Hell Scrag in it. Really, this is not about the map so much as the new enemy, so that makes sense. Anyway, he spent about half an hour working on red bloodshot eyes, like his! And the Quake logo is also going to be branded on the Hell Scrag's back. Sounds were about 50 minutes of slurping and spanking into the microphone until he picked the ones he liked best. He left some of the original stuff in because he wanted to sound similar, but also be distinguishable. So he's going to make it sound somewhat similar to the original Scrag. The MDO is complete with the gibbed head that also has the red eyes. The Quake C stuff took about another half hour with very minor changes. Basically like changing, the wizard, projectile to the knight projectile. And yeah, basically he added another QC file, a death message and whatnot. Believe it or not, the map was actually the hardest part. He spent the whole 45 minutes making a pretty small room and trying to keep the player from always telefragging the Hell Scrag. He was going to put some light in, but he figured if it works, it's okay. So yeah, it's not even going to be lighted up. It's just going to be a very, very basic map. Literally just you and the Hell Scrag. He couldn't figure out how to like get you from not telefragging the enemies. So needless to say, he was very limited. Yeah, you can add the Hell Scrag to your own maps by making an entity called this. And he tells you the entity, which would work with this particular modification because the progress on that would reference it. And so you basically could use this Monster H Wizard wherever in maps. And as long as you had this particular mod, it would work. The one problem with that is, like I said, you can't really expand it with other mods. So you really can't use it with all the other open source modifications out there, which kind of stinks. Yeah, so basically he says there's a few files you need to modify to add the monster. Just copy the base from another monster, modify it. Then you change the AI in AI.qc and client.qc to basically death messages. Anyway, that brings us to who exactly Toby Reed is. He's a Quake player editor. He is very familiar with C, C++, Quake C, and 4DOS. He's also a Linux addict, and that means he's also a free speech advocate, because install Gentoo and all that. Anyway, he needs a subdomain for his computer. He got the IP address, he just needs some kind soul to give him a subdomain under their machine. Something like dork.kindsoul.com. Email him if you can do that. Anyway, distribution permission. Wait, why do we have all this? Anyway, so you can permitted to put this on BBS systems, internet sites. Walnut Creek CD-ROM has my express permission to publish the file on their CD-ROMs. If you find any random friends with discs, you can get it that way. You can unpack it to mess with the sounds in MDL files. You're totally allowed to do that. You can study the source code by decompiling it. Wait, how do you decompile a... Now I'm curious if there's a way to decompile a progress.dat file. I didn't think you could decompile a progress.dat file. Yeah. Is there a way to decompile? Yeah, I thought there was a way to I thought, yeah, there was a closed source thing in that you can't exactly do it. Even looking online, basically people are asking how to do it, and they don't really say how to do it. It sounds like there's some decompilers out there. Yeah. Needless to say, it's something I'm going to have to look into. Hopefully I can find a decompiler. It would be nice to do or something like that. But at the same time, they even say it's basically highly frowned upon and all that. But really, I just would love it to like use it for personal use or something like that. Yeah, but like I said, needless to say, decompiling it's kind of problematic because you're not exactly expressing the wishes of the authors of a mod generally. But in this case, you are. So how do you decompile? Anyway, you cannot put this on online services, meaning you cannot put this on AOL, CompuServe, Prodigy, GNN, or WOW, World of Warcraft, etc. Was there a WOW that was different back then? I have no idea. Anyway, CD-ROMs without my permission. If you put this on a CD without giving me proper credit and having my permission, I'll sue you! Also, charging for it. You can't sell this on a floppy as shareware or something like this. You can't sell it for anything above the normal rate on BBS. You also can't use the model file in a totally unrelated patch. So apparently you also can't exactly rip it apart to like do. But then again, he does say you can distribute it with friends. So needless to say, as long as you don't really put it online, I guess that's like fine. Yeah, basically he doesn't just want it like on a mess thing. But if you had like a closed source little friend like thing or something like that. So yeah, I just want to decompile it so I have it on my own so I can put it on like a server. That's all I really want. I just want the ability to decompile all these enemies and then have them randomly able to be generated in. I don't know how to do that part yet. But the first part is getting the enemies. And so far we have... I think Willy the Spider was open source, wasn't it? Yeah, I completely forget. But I know, I know the Psionic Slug was not. Actually, I think Willy the Spider was. I think I remember it. But the one problem about Willy the Spider was that it only replaced like a couple dogs in E1M1. So, needless to say, it was not exactly the biggest thing in the world. Yeah, there was spiders, but it required a modified E1M1 file, and yeah, it wasn't exactly the most exciting thing in the world. So, needless to say, if I could get some generated to like have a bunch of random enemies, I could take Willy the Spider and bring it in there. I don't know how to do anything else, but I can add Willy the Spider. That's basically the lesson here today. I'm going to have a map with a bunch of scrags and spiders. Availability. You just download it, right? You know where you got it from. Okay, so this author doesn't care what it does to your computer. It's your own fault if your girlfriend leaves you because you got this program. Good to know. So, yeah, needless to say, this is basically a general thing. He's having some fun with all the different instructions and all that stuff. Anyway, like I said, I wish there was a way to, like, decompile this one file. I know nobody really is going to watch this in the first place, but I'd love to find some way to decompile a Quake file now. I didn't even think that was possible. I didn't think it was possible to decompile a Quake pack file, because at the same time, no, not a pack file. I don't want to decompile a pack file. Progs.dat file. Yeah, I think here's me and probably the pack file. I don't think you could decompile a progs.dat. I mean, yeah, that would be awesome if I could decompile a closed source progs.dat, all that, or something like that. Like I said, everyone's even saying that I would love to do it. But yeah, basically, it's something that's kind of like confusing. Like I said, I would love to like do stuff. But yeah, like I said, it's closed source or something like that. You can't really like modify it. It would definitely be nice though if I could, because that would definitely kill like the whole difference between closed source and open source. So yeah, now I want to like decompile it. So is there a way to decompile it? I would love... Yeah, it basically seems like something people have been asking about for years. But I'm just not seeing any real answer to the question. How I found a way to decompile. Ooh, wait, did he say something like that? yeah, you basically have to, like, edit stuff in Hex Editor, and hopefully you can, like, tear it apart. I'll have to definitely tear into this, and hopefully it works, because I would love to be able to take this obscure Russian hack and make a file out of it. Yeah, like I said, I don't really want to, like, distribute this thing. I just want to have the ability to, like, have, like, an open source thing with a bunch of spawned enemies. But I guess that's in the long term anyway. I don't really need to care about decompiling right now, because I don't really have the ability to have generators. So until we have the ability to have, like, enemy generators and all that, I can't really use it anyway. Anyway, I've been rambling for about 15 minutes and haven't done a single thing. Let's actually start the game and begin shooting some things. Actually, did he say something about the level? I think he said something at the level, and somehow I totally skipped that part, I think. Did I? Oh, yeah, okay. This guy will make life miserable. Be quick when switching on God mode. Oh, goody. Yeah. Basically, this guy is going to be extremely deadly, which means he should be fun for us. Map Hell Scrag, maybe? No? HW Test. Yeah, so that's the thing. I completely forget your map names. HW Test. Okay, let's see how fast he kills me. So now he's just gonna start shooting me. So you see, it's kind of like a regular Scrag, but he has red fire. As you see, I was toasted by a Hell Scrag. So that is... See, there's a Quake logo on his back. Look at that. I love it. You can basically turn around and basically just spin around with him and, like, totally mess with him. Yeah, he makes life miserable, doesn't he? I thought it was supposed to be hard. Anyway, that's the Quake logo on his back. And yeah, basically it's a very basic reskin, if you notice. If anything, doesn't he feel as powerful as a regular Scrag? I think a regular Scrag causes 9 damage. I think, yeah, he just changed the projectile. So yeah, you have that random logo on the back. You have basically the Scrag with red eyes. Like I said, you would really not even see, like, much of a difference if it wasn't for, you know, it actually having a different source. This is not a reskin. This is actually a new enemy. Quake logo. But yeah, that's the Hell Scrag, everybody. Very anticlimactic, because it's really not that exciting. But, yeah, Hell Scrag. I don't really know where I'm going for this, but you got to see it. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. It's been an adventure. Hopefully you also appreciated the new microphone setup. It definitely should be interesting. This, I guess, is the pilot episode of this new setup, and hopefully it works well. Planning on getting some noise gate and different things like that as I go along, but this is definitely a step in the right direction with actually much clearer microphone audio. Anyway, thank you all for watching. It's been an adventure, and I shall see you all in the future, I guess.